The hits keep coming for Obamacare, and you start to wonder, will the administration ever admit that this was not ready for prime time? With me, conservative columnist and author of the new book, Never Trust a Liberal Over Three, especially a Republican, Ann Coulter. How are you, Ann?
Fantastic. Glad to be here, Jeanine.
All right. Now, if the Obamacare website doesn't get fixed on time for December 15th so that you have insurance on January 1, what happens?
Well, looking at the numbers, I think maybe they were pulling our legs on 40 million uninsured, unless they were including all the illegal aliens coming in through amnesty and their relatives. Because, like 36,000 have signed up, or about 25% of the way through the sign-up period. But I think you have to understand what Obamacare is designed to fail, doing a great job on that so far, so that they can move to single payer. I mean,
why don't we have single payer? What is the whole point of these exchanges? We've got Medicaid, we've got Medicare. I mean, you know, if you're this age, you get, you know, the Medicaid. That
right.
What's with all these exchanges? What's that about?
Well, it's intended to look like the free market, but is actually the Department of Motor Vehicles.
In cyberspace.
Yes, because everything that was wrong with health care to begin with was already a result of government intervention, with all these mandates on what insurance had to cover. You couldn't get insurance in America for the things any normal person wants insurance for. You had to cover a panoply of things: gambling, addiction, psychological counseling. That's what drove the price up. It would be like saying, yes, you can buy a car, but the government says it has to be a fully loaded Maybach. And then very few people can afford them. And they say, there's a crisis, there's a crisis. We need to provide Maybachs to people.
So do you think, Ann, that ultimately they're going to have to delay this, or at the very least give people a year on the individual mandate?
Well, when they try to delay it, I think the House Republicans should say, no, I'm sorry. We gave you that option. No, I think the Republicans have been really great. And it's clear that the Republican Party is the anti-Obamacare party after this shutdown over the past few weeks.
Yeah, it didn't do them much good, though,
I think it did.
Why?
Because we have to take the United States Senate. I mean, of the differences between this shutdown and the 1995 shutdown, A, there was no Fox News or internet in 95. B, this was over the hated Obamacare. A majority of Americans hate it and have never asked for it. It's usually just about spending. But the third difference is, and this cuts against our shutdown this time, is in 1995, Republicans had huge majorities in the House and the Senate.
Right.
So America, you want us to end this plague, just give Republicans a majority of the Senate.
All right, but now, if they don't delay it, is it possible that they can start fining people who don't have insurance? I mean, how are they even going to know it?
Yes, of course they will, but they won't fine their buddies, big business, the unions.
Well, that's because they all had a delay. I mean, it's the regular guy like us.
They get delays. No, this is what happens under tyranny. The people with connections, they'll still have good doctors, they'll have good health care, but the vast majority of Americans, the vast middle class, the Republican Party has traditionally represented, they are totally screwed.
Well, and the shame of it is that then the IRS gets involved, not just in terms of your taxes, but in terms of your health care, and now fining you and
having all that personal information about you.
Right. The navigators, a few with an arrest warrant here and there, bankruptcy, identity theft, all that stuff.
One, I think, one was an illegal alien.
Oh,
an
no,
Obamacare navigator.
All right, Ann Coulter, always good to see you. And coming up, why